Hello.
Yep, there she is.
Hello.
Now there's another iPhone. Who's the other iPhone?
I don't
There's
know.
Archie, but it says her name. There's another iPhone down there. Andrew's there. Nope. I don't know who that is. Okay. We'll hope it's
Oh, hi,
not
Lynda.
PA. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you, or good to see your ex. It's an X on screen, but that's Andrew.
And Sanjay is there, which is nice. I see Sanjay.
Sanjay is here. So yay, we're gonna get started because I'm already starting late and I don't ever start late. But we started late tonight, so I can't say that anymore. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lynda Carpenter. Sanjay only knows about me, I believe. I have a master's degree in complementary and alternative medicine. I'm a board certified drugless practitioner, advanced healing foods instructor, certified raw food educator. It goes on and on and on and on and on. I'm basically a holistic nutritionist. I specialize in the therapeutic use of essential oils. I am an oncology nutrition consultant and multiple aromatherapy certifications. That's enough. Do you remember the movie Patch Adams, where Robin Williams played Dr. Patch Adams? Does anybody remember that?
Yes.
It's a great, great movie. If you don't remember it, or if you haven't watched it, go watch it. For some of you, it's a little bit dated, but that's all right. Watch it anyway. The real Patch Adams is Dr. Hunter Adams. He actually wrote one of the chapters in my favorite textbook in my entire master's degree program, which is the textbook of, oh gosh, I've forgotten the name of it. It's alternative medicine, I think. It's about that thick. It's a big, huge monster book. His definition of health is a body toned to its optimum performance potential, a clear mind exploding with wonder and curiosity, and a spirit happy and at peace with the world. That's the definition of health that I pursue. It's the definition of health that I work with my clients to pursue. So do this. We always start with a good deep breath. Oops, somebody else is coming in. Oops. Yay. There we go. Oh, I'm not done yet. I got distracted. All right. We always start with a good deep breath, and we do that because it wakes you up, right? It actually gets oxygen to the brain cells. It helps to relax you, and yet you're more alert. You'll probably, those of you that are here in the office, that you'll probably be more awake as you drive home tonight, be better driving because it's dark, and you'll probably even sleep a little better tonight. And all you did was stop every now and then and just take a good deep breath. So we'll do that periodically. All right. So your cleaners are killing you. That's a pretty hardcore statement. But the truth of the matter is that it is true, but they're killing you very, very slowly. And it's a long, slow, painful death. So I will go into that. One of the most common underlying cause of poor health is actually the toxins that we put in our environment every day. And I'm going to show you some very specific toxins that you use. Most likely you've got them in your home right now, and they're known carcinogens, and they disrupt your endocrine system. And I'll explain more about what that means when we get in and we're looking at the toxins that you have in your cabinets. So there's two types of xenotoxins, basically, and that is, or two types of toxins. One is the toxins that your body develops. Okay, they're called endotoxins, and they're like just breathing. The process of breathing lets off a toxin, actually ammonia, but that ammonia goes through your body and your kidneys filter it out in the uric acid sequence, right? So it's not something you have to deal with unless you've got something going on with your lungs or your kidneys, right? But we have toxins inside our body. They're called endotoxins. Then there's toxins that come from outside our body, and they are called exotoxins. And the exotoxins are from anything outside of the body. You've heard of things like glyphosate in pesticides, especially Roundup. You've heard of BPA. BPA is in plastics, bisphenol A. There's all kinds of these toxins that we have in all our cleaning supplies. And they do really, really play havoc on our bodies. And I'll go into that in more detail as we go on. So that toxic, xenotoxic exposure happens all the time. You spray some Lysol to clean something, guess what? Yes, it's toxic, complete with carcinogens. So we get it. In fact, I was talking to somebody, what was it, 2 nights ago, Tammy, who pays ever so careful attention to what she feeds her dog. And no attention to what she feeds herself, right? Or very little attention to what she feeds herself. More attention is paid to what she feeds her dogs. I know people that are careful and concerned about, oh, my pet's overweight or underweight or whatever. And you go, all right, let's take care of the person as well as we take care of the pet, right? So make sure that you are taking care of you. And I'm going to show you tonight some of the ways that you can do that. So our bodies have all kinds of different detoxification systems. The most prevalent are the liver and the kidneys. And if they are not enough, so everything goes to the liver for detoxification. Some things go to the kidneys for detoxification. And if that's not enough, if you overwhelmed them because you've got so much toxins going on, it comes out your skin. So when you see people that have acne, whether it's childhood acne or adult acne, childhood acne can be more associated with hormones. But there is a point, especially adult acne, where there are so many toxins on board that it's overrun their liver and overrun their kidneys. And so the toxins have to come out somewhere, and it comes out the skin. Your skin is your largest organ of elimination. So if the toxins can't get out from your liver or your kidneys or your skin, it gets stored. It gets stored in the body. And once it gets stored in the body, it's really, really, really hard to get rid of. Not impossible, but it takes some kind of heroic effort. That's when you go on a 30-day cleanse. And anybody who comes to my office, and if they're sick, the first thing I recommend is a 30-day cleanse. Actually, it's a 6-week cleanse. And if they're really sick, it's 8 weeks. And that's because all those toxins got to come out. And it used to be, before refrigeration, literally before, so less than 100 years ago, or right around 100 years ago, well, we had ice boxes before that, but we didn't have electric refrigeration. Before refrigeration, we had 2 fasts a year, not fasts, 2 cleanses a year, just based on Mother Nature. Because food was hard to come by in the wintertime, and you ate the first thing that you could eat in the springtime, which was greens. A lot of dandelion greens, actually, and dandelion greens are amazing to cleanse your liver, right? There's a lot of greens, and that's the first thing that comes up in the spring. And guess what? That's a cleanse, because during the winter, you ate a lot of meat. That's not bad. That's just the cycle. And then you got to get rid of the stuff that collects when you have that meat, and you had a cleanse. And you did it by all the fruits and vegetables and greens that start to grow in the spring. So we don't do that anymore, right? Most people don't do that anymore. But we are going to have a spring cleanse this year. About the time the greens start coming out of the ground, March, mid-March, we're going to do a cleanse. Why? Because we need it. And I recommend 2 a year, because we need that, because it's a more toxic environment than it was 100 years ago, significantly more toxic. All right, so I still believe prevention, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, right? So my preference is to not be exposed to as many of those toxins as possible. So get as many of those toxins out one of the gals that we were talking to was using clean hair care and clean makeup, but not eating organic food, right? And she had a history of cancer and diabetes and other things. And okay, we got to get those, you know, pay attention to what you're putting in your body, but then also pay attention to what you're putting on your skin. And we had personal care products 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks ago. So we want to make sure that we're getting rid of not just the toxins in the personal care products, but we're also getting rid of the toxins in what we're talking about tonight is our home cleaners. So household cleaners are typically what they call a silent risk. They're filled with chemicals that you'll see in a few slides have never been tested together. They have no idea what they do when they're combined together, but they cause illness. That much we know. It's a matter of the severity of the illness. It's not whether or not it causes illness, it's how severe an illness does it cause. And they also do damage to the environment. And I'll show you some of that as well. So the Organic Consumers Association is all about health and justice and sustainability and peace and democracy. But they pay attention to, on that health side, clean cleaners. And we expect our cleaners to be clean, right? We expect them to be pure. We expect somebody to be regulating it. And the truth of the matter is nobody is. So we expect our cleaners to be safe. We expect them to be okay to use. Now, we understand that if you're using oven cleaner with lye or acidic toilet bowl cleaner, we understand that those are going to be bad, right? But are there other options? Dadgummit, I forgot to bring a sample. I was going to bring my recipe. I'll show you the recipe for comment. So 1/3 of the substances, your cleaners, have fragrances that are toxic and that do not have to have labels on them. And they're known to be toxic and they are not required to be labeled. So many of them contribute, yes, you can get short-term illnesses, but many of them contribute to long-term illnesses, including hormone disruption and cancer. So some of the all-purpose cleaners, and you probably see some on that picture that you have in your house. I know when I first started teaching this and studying this, I had a lot of them in my house. I don't anymore. But some of your cleaners have sudsing agencies like diethylalamine and triethylalamine, DEA and TEA. When those come into contact with nitrites, and they don't have to be disclosed on the label, then it forms nitrosamines, and nitrosamines are carcinogenic. They cause cancer, and they soak right into your skin. My dad was a country boy, and he would go out and he'd be working on something and get all hands and greasy and what have you. He'd be working on a tractor, whatever. And what did he wash his hands off? What did he know would cut grease? Gasoline. And he would wash, and Brian knows what I'm talking about, wash with gasoline, right? Oh yeah. Doesn't surprise me that he had several skin cancers. My uncle was a crop duster. And he's had multiple hundreds of skin cancers removed. Does not surprise me even in the slightest little bit, because it's not the sun that causes skin cancer. It's putting toxins on your skin and going into the sun that causes skin cancer. If the sun caused skin cancer, we would have not survived as a species for millennia, right? We would have died off as a species a lot of years ago when we were running around in, little fig leaves. I gotta giggle.
That's the way.
So, okay, some places it was rabbit fur, but you get the idea. So 1,4-dioxane, this is fascinating. It's in your Pine Sol. It's in Simple Green. It broke my heart when it was in Simple Green because, you know, Simple Green is supposed to be non-toxic, right? I always thought Simple Green was a cleaner. Not so much. Not so much. So 1,4-dioxane suspected carcinogen. If the government says it's suspected, you know it ain't suspected, right? It does not have to be labeled. It's present in lots of cleaners that are made with ethoxylated alcohols. So you will see on the label the ethoxylated alcohol. You'll probably see the 1,4-dioxane. Okay, when those two get together, it's bad news. Ethylene glycol is ethylene glycol monobutyl ether. Whew, that's a mouthful. Butyl cellulose salt is nerve damaging. Your soft scrub. I hated to know that Mr. Clean wasn't clean. I had a crush on him as a child.
Eric kind of
Eric looks more like Sean Connery. I'll show you the Sean Connery. He actually even does the raised eyebrow thing. Sean Connery may have been my first ever crush. Right. So sodium hydroxide, sodium hypochlorite, which is bleach. You put bleach in alcohol and it will cause such respiratory damage that many people who used to work in housekeeping in hotels would pass out in the bathrooms before they knew not to mix them. Okay. Not everybody knows not to mix them. I learned it at a young age and I assume everybody else does, but never, ever mix bleach with ammonia. Now, you're not going to go out and buy something that says ammonium these days. I mean, you can find it at a hardware store, but you will find cleaners that have ammonium in it. And if you mix a cleaner that has ammonium in it with a cleaner that has bleach in it, then you got a problem, right? Then you got a problem. So if you think those chemicals have all been tested together, they have not. The last time a chemical safety law was updated was 1976. That's scary. There were 84,000 different household items with chemicals, 84,000 chemicals used in household items. 200 of those have ever been tested by the FDA, and 5 of them have actually been regulated. Only 5. So don't think that the government has our back yet again. They're not clean. Your cleaners are not tested. They're not evaluated. Nobody's checking. Another thing that's quite fascinating is your indoor quality of air. So the off-gassing, you know that new car smell? Yeah, leave the windows down. You don't want to smell that stuff. It is toxic as all get out. New paint, new carpet, new flooring, new furniture, open up the windows, set up some fans, let those smells get out because they will off-gas for years. There are a tremendous number of new or recurring cancer diagnoses after a remodel. Or you move into a brand new house, amazing number of new and recurrences of cancer from all the off-gassing of those chemicals. So if you remodel your house, I'm not going to say don't remodel your house, but open up the windows and let those chemicals get out because they need to get out. The EPA ranks indoor air quality as a top health hazard. A top health hazard. So immediately you get things like irritated eyes or a little, irritated throat or a little cough, or maybe you get a headache, maybe you get a little dizzy, something like that. Long term, you get respiratory disease. Have you noticed how many people are on oxygen? There's a lot of people on oxygen. What changed? There weren't people on oxygen when we were kids, right? It wasn't like that. Now, it may have just been that they died off because they didn't get on oxygen. I don't think so. I think there's more toxins. I think there's more chemicals, and it's doing more damage to people today than it did 40 or 50 years ago. So respiratory disease, heart disease, cancer, it can all be that those chemicals, indoor air pollutants, can have a severely debilitating and even fatal effect. So when I say your cleaners are killing you, I ain't kidding. Right? You really, really do. Every day you need to open up the windows and let some fresh air in, even when it's 20 degrees. Open up the windows, let some air in, let some clean air in. So here's why. As I said, the US government does not regulate. They don't assess the safety of the labeling. They don't regulate the labeling of most of your cleaners on the market. Nobody's assessing it. Nobody's checking it. Somebody wants to put something out there. This is the best cleaner there ever was because it's pure poison. Nobody's checking, right? Nobody's checking. So the EPA regulates certain things. By the way, Lysol was originally, they tried to, it's regulated because it contains pesticides. Lysol is not something that you want to use in your home.
Around the dog.
Or around your people.
Right. We think in terms of cleaning up after dogs.
Well, and here's what I think. I think dogs are a little bit like canaries. Okay. So the miners would take canaries into the mine, and if the canary stopped singing, get out of the mine, right? They were just more sensitive. A dog's lifespan is what? A third of ours, a quarter of ours, fifth of ours? Way shorter. A dog's lifespan is way shorter. So anything that's toxic to them is going to be toxic faster to them than it is to us. So they're a little bit like a canary. If your dog starts getting sick, you know that there's an issue. And it's just going to take you longer. But yeah, you're going to take care of your dog, but you got to take care of your human too. So we're really on our own as it relates to clean, safe, healthy products. So let's look at a couple of them in depth, or in a little bit more depth. So laundry detergent ingredients. So yes, I looked up the Tide ingredients and what was on them. 1,4-dioxane is an 8 based on the environmental working group, EWG. And so they have a rating scale of toxic from 1 to 10, right? 1 is non-toxic and 10 is extraordinarily toxic. So 1,4-dioxane is an 8 because it's an overall health hazard. It causes cancer, and there's restrictions on use. So they have said, don't use it for certain things because it's not good for you. 2 out of 3 laundry detergents contain 1,4-dioxane. The international, this is one of those where if the government says it's carcinogenic, or it may be carcinogenic, and you got 3 or 4 different agencies saying the same thing, you don't have to ask whether or not it causes cancer. Just look at the label. If it's got 1,4-dioxane on it, put it back on the shelf. You don't want it. So the International Agency for Research on Cancer has determined that 1,4-dioxane is possibly carcinogenic. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services anticipated to be a human carcinogen. EPA has established that 1,4-dioxane is likely to be carcinogenic to humans. I thought there was one more, right? You get all these different agencies saying it might be a carcinogen. You know what? I'm not taking that risk. That stuff's not coming in my house. Sodium lauryl sulfate. This is fascinating to me because they put this in toothpaste. It's known to cause canker sores. It's a registered insecticide. They put it in your toothpaste. It is a registered insecticide. It's extremely toxic to marine life. So your fish, your insects, your crustaceans. They tried to get it approved as a pesticide for organic farmers, but it was too harmful to the environment.
Wow.
It's in your toothpaste. In the manufacturing process, a process called ethoxylation, it winds up contaminating 1,4-dioxane, which is a carcinogen, and it releases, you've heard of volatile organic compounds. So volatile means rapidly dispersing, right? Essential oils are volatile, they rapidly disperse, but they're in a good way, right? This stuff makes the environmental damage even worse. When you put sodium lauryl sulfate with something that has 1,4-dioxane, it creates the perfect storm. It makes it even worse. Non-ethynyl ethoxylate, NPE. Some of these words are just fun to try to say. So this is your xenoestrogen. So we talked about xenoestrogens 2 weeks ago. It mimics estrogen. It makes your body think your body is producing more estrogen. And the last thing you want to do ever in your life is produce more estrogen. You want to be very balanced between your estrogens, and there are multiple estrogens, between your estrogens and your progesterone and your testosterone. And we all have both. Look at the number of men today who could wear a bra. That's because they've got too much estrogen. It either comes from one or two places, xenoestrogen, or they're taking testosterone injections. And when you take testosterone injections, testosterone breaks down into estrogen. And if they don't take something to block the estrogen, they get boobs, right? The little boys who are obese and have boobs, that's toxins. That's xenoestrogen toxins.
So are the testosterone shots bad?
No, for a man who is low on testosterone, it affects more than just their sexual capacity. It affects their ability to warm their body. It affects their ability to produce muscle. It affects every part of their body. So you take the testosterone, but they take a estrogen blocker with it. They need to take an estrogen, otherwise they'll develop boobs. So the NPE damages the liver and kidneys. It decreases sperm count. It decreases testicular growth. It disrupts growth and metabolism and causes increased mortality. That means death. I'm not kidding when I say your cleaners are killing you. Your laundry detergent has this stuff in it. When rainbow trout were exposed to NPEs, they become part male and part female. You've heard me say that 61% of our streams have gender bending. That's what this is. Okay, this is one of the chemicals that leads to gender bending. There, that's what I just said. Forgot it was on the slide. So, NPE pollution, I'm just going to read this, is likely to be at least partly responsible for a variety of odd gender bending phenomenon now seen in aquatic species. And while human effects remain unknown, scientists believe it may be affecting people too. Have you seen the number of boys that can't tell if they're a boy or girl? Have you seen the number of gender changing operations going on? Transgender operations. You know, they're even mandated to do it in the military. If somebody says, "Oh, I want to be a girl now," they are mandated to do it, and we pay for it. What's it caused from? It's caused from these chemicals that affect our hormones. And oh, by the way, your water purification systems, not only do they not remove it, they can make it more stronger, more persistent. You try to filter it out, it doesn't work, it makes it more stronger. So you want to look for anything that could be an NPE on your label, or a really excited declaration that it's not there, right? Because the companies that go to the level of cleanliness that it's not there, they will put it there. They'll say contains no, and you'll look. They'll have a list of what it doesn't have. doTERRA has lists of what it doesn't have. So some detergents contain your NPEs. Labeled as alternatives, such as alcohol ethoxylate. The Sierra Club says alcohol ethoxylate is less toxic and can break down naturally. And that's important because it's a less of a threat to our water supply. Phosphates. Almost all of your regular cleansers, your laundry detergent, things like that, will have phosphates. They are almost impossible to remove from wastewater. It winds up in your lakes and your rivers and your streams. It increases the growth of algae. It increases the growth of algae. When the algae grow, it suffocates the salmon, right? And other fishes. It literally starves them of oxygen for lack of oxygen, because the algae overtakes the oxygen. So phosphates act like a fertilizer in our waterways, and it kills off the fish. And then when you have an overabundance of algae and the algae die, then there's toxins in the water, and that depletes the water of oxygen. And the phosphates remain active again, even after wastewater treatment. So neither one of those are cleared by wastewater treatment. So you look at your laundry detergents, this is actually the ingredients of Tide, and you look at the things that are in there that are really, really nasty. And I didn't look up every one of them this time. I have in the past, but you want to become a label reader. You want to look for things that especially does not contain. You want to know what it does not contain, because that's usually a really good list. They will proudly display what it doesn't contain. Doesn't contain phosphate free, or no bleach, or SLS free, or NPE free. You want to see that on the label if you're buying stuff in the store. I'm going to show you how doTERRA is never going to use that, and you can buy it all in one place online. It gets delivered right to your door. It's the simplest and easiest thing in the whole wide world. Look for things that are plant-based or versus animal-based ingredients, or you want plant or animal ingredients rather than petroleum. You do not want petroleum-based ingredients. Brian's going, what? So either you get really good at reading all your labels and learning all the names of the stuff that's toxic and all the stuff that you don't want to have in there, or you go with a product that you know and trust and always has your back. And by the way, can pay you back. I don't pay for laundry detergent and most of my cleaning supplies. I pay for them with points. That's part of the cash back that I get from doTERRA. So once a year, and I'll talk about this later, once a year I go in and I buy my laundry detergent and my cleaning supplies, and I just do that with my points. So another thing that you can do is buy concentrated. So concentrated cleaners you're not paying for a bunch of water, right? It has a smaller footprint. So when you buy a multi-purpose spray cleaner from doTERRA, you get this much, right? But you put that in this bottle and fill it with water, and you're not paying for them to ship you a bunch of water, right? And this is glass. These are aluminum, the most recycled substance on the planet. And then you can buy the nice dispensers. And it all looks nice, right? So you can become a soap nut, the Chinese soapberry tree, and you're starting to be able, you can find some Chinese soapberry, probably not in Grand Junction, but if you've got a good Whole Foods, which we don't have here, you can find some Chinese soap nuts, and they work like soap, right? Some other things that you can do is consider wearing that pair of pants more than once. You know, if it doesn't smell, consider what I said. Consider. My husband can't do it either. Us girls, we can get away with that. We go through more clothes than you guys do too. Consider rinsing in cold water, washing and rinsing in cold water. Now you can't do that with everything, but there are things that you can use cold water for, and that will again reduce your footprint. It also save you about $100 a year. And again, you can't do it with everything. There's some things that I want sanitized, but there's some things that don't have to be. Make sure you wash full loads of laundry, because that is more energy efficient. I don't know of anybody here that does any dry cleaning. I've got a couple of things that are dry cleaned, and you know, I wear them once every 4 or 5 years. Right? But dry cleaners have a chemical called perchloroethylene that is carcinogenic. It's a known carcinogen. So a lot of those dry clean only products are really, they can be hand washed, right? Consider hand washing them rather than taking them to the dry cleaners. So let's look at doTERRA's laundry detergent. All right, we looked at Tide. Is Tide still the #1 selling laundry detergent? Let's look at the ingredients of doTERRA's. And if you look in here, naturally just derived surfactants. So that's the things that make it break up grease. One of the things. I lost my place. Propranolol. No, that's a medication. That was too funny. Propranidiol. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm going to go through what the environmental working group said about them. And here's what it says. Here's that one I just tried to pronounce and couldn't. It's a 1. Remember that 1 to 10 scale? 1 for dioxin was an 8. It's a 1. Okay. The next one is a 1. The next one is a 4. But that's as high as it gets. The next one is a 1. And by the way, it's, nope, it doesn't say. The next one is a 1. That's the chemicals in On Guard laundry detergent, and it has a full bottle of On Guard essential oil in the laundry detergent. Look at the size of this. Okay, this is 64 loads with 32 ounces. 64 loads with your Tide is 100 ounces. You think you might be paying for some water? You're paying for some water. With my 55% discount, and anybody here can get a 55% discount. Brian's getting a 55% discount. It takes a year. When you start ordering with doTERRA, If you order $50, 50 points a month for a year, month 13, you're at a 55% discount. You didn't know that, did you?
Not till now.
So, and like I said, I buy mine with points. So the way doTERRA does it is because you're a wholesale customer, you get 25% off retail. Okay. And then for the first 3 months, 10% of everything that you order goes back into your account as points. And then your second 3 months, 15%. It has to be 50 points or more. And the third 3 months, it's going to go up to 20%, right? And at the end of 13 months, or in your 13th month, you're at a 30% of everything that you order goes back in your account as points. And you can spend those points any way you want to. I buy all my cleaners with them and my skincare. You know, I buy the stuff that it's okay if it sits in, you know, I've got a little storage place for them. It's okay if it sits in there for a while, right? I don't want to do that with oils. I could, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna have them sit in my shelf when I could have laundry detergent for free. All right. So cleansers are notoriously bad. Calcium carbonate, sodium carbonate, ionic surfactants, bleach, quality control agents. You have no idea what that is. And fragrance. They don't have to tell you what the fragrance is, but most of your fragrances are synthetic and toxic. So your Comet and Ajax both contain crystalline silica, and crystalline silica is a carcinogen. Anything that says harmful or fatal, if swallowed, it can't be good, right? Your bathroom cleaner, this one fascinates me. 6% citric acid, 94% other ingredients. They do not tell you what the other ingredients are. Nobody's regulating this, right? They don't tell you what the 94% of the product is. It may just be water, but it doesn't smell like citric acid, so something else in there. But we don't know, right? That's kind of scary. Lime Away. Anybody ever used Lime Away? Yes, I've used Lime Away. It's an F. So Environmental Working Group has a couple of different measuring. One is a 1 to 10 scale. Another one is the A through F scale. Lime Away is an F. It causes asthma and respiratory concerns, skin allergies, developmental and reproductive toxicity. What does that mean? That means your pregnant daughter or granddaughter cleans the toilet and has a baby that has a defect. That's what that means. Okay, environmental or developmental and reproductive toxicity is a defect that happens to a fetus caused by stuff like Lime Away. Oh yeah, and it causes cancer, and they know that. It's the lowest rating that you can get from the Environmental Working Group on cleaning products. The other Lime Away ingredients, it goes from an F to a D, FDC dye number, yellow number 5. Anything that is colored yellow and uses yellow dye number 5, yeah, causes cancer. Autism, organ effects, that means it affects your liver and kidneys. Alcohol ethoxylates, that's a C. Methyl salicylate, that's a C. I can't remember how to say that one, but it goes all the way down to, finally you get from C's to an A, and that's the water that's in it.
Unless it's downstream from the sewage plant. Which or deep rock.
Market an A- or a B+.
Then you have your Lysol, which has orthophenol and sodium orthophenol. OPP and Na, which is the abbreviation for sodium, OPP, which is genotoxic. Genotoxic means toxic to an unborn fetus. Yeah, Lysol, toxic to an unborn fetus. What do you think they clean a hospital with? Some things just kind of make my blood boil. All right. So let's look at some non-toxic cleaners. You ready for some non-toxic cleaners? How about good old baking soda? Baking soda is amazing. It prevents, it's a proven virus killer. It cleans, it deodorizes, it brightens, and it cuts grease and grime. So this afternoon, this had a label on it, right? I took the label off. I put On Guard, for anybody that hasn't used On Guard laundry detergent, this is for a load. This is enough for a load. 2 tablespoons is all it takes for a load because it's concentrated, right? If you haven't used On Guard laundry detergent, make sure you take one of those. If you're online, ask the person who invited you, I want some laundry detergent, have them put it in an old essential oil bottle, and that is enough for a load of laundry. Check it out. It's amazing stuff. I love this stuff. Now, it had labels on it, right? You know that Goo Gone stuff? You have any idea how toxic that is? There ain't none of it in my house. Okay, what did I use? I put a drop of lemon oil on it. And that breaks down the initial, so you can literally take the label off like that. Okay. Some labels are harder to get off. These, you can take it off like that, right? And then rub in the lemon oil and use baking soda. And just
Work on bud water bottle?
Yeah.
That's good to know because I always just run my bottles, like wash them,
I don't.
and then they still have some. I just use them anyway, but.
No, lemon oil and baking soda.
Looks good on your battery terminal too. Looks good that-
One of the best things for battery terminals is Coca-Cola.
That's really good for your gut too. Takes battery acid off.
Best thing for, yep, and we drink that stuff. Best thing
Maybe
for,
not.
it's the phosphates in the cola that will combine with the battery acids, melt right off. Liquid Castile soap. So there's all kinds of different brands. The one I use is on your left, which is Dr. Bronner's. It comes in all kinds of flavors and scents. You could probably, it's so clean you could drink it. And this is what my husband uses for his shower soap. He likes it. It's got a eucalyptus, and his favorite scent, one of his favorite scents in the world is eucalyptus. It's got peppermint, lemon, you name it. It's got all kinds of different aromas.
What brand is that?
Dr. Bronner's. And you can't miss it because there's writing, tiny writing all around the bottle. And it tells the story, and it tells what's in it and what's not in it. It's no animal or chemical detergents of any kind. It cuts grease, it cleans, it's really, really good stuff. Vinegar, right? Just plain old vinegar. It's an acid, it cuts grease and grime, cuts soap scum, and good old natural lemon juice. Kills mold and mildew, cuts through grease, makes things shiny, smells awesome, right? So would you like to know what I use? This is my recipe. You can write it down. I didn't bring anything with it already written down. I forgot to do that. 3/4 of, so this is what I use for my Comet instead of Comet, okay? Or Ajax. 3/4 of a cup of baking soda, a 1/4 cup of liquid Castile soap, Dr. Bronner's, a little bit of water, a little bit of vinegar. Now, when that vinegar meets the baking soda, what happens? It foams. So in junior high, when kids are making volcanoes, they make it by adding vinegar to baking soda. So it foams. I did a make and take years ago. And we had these little containers with little plastic lids on them, and we made them all up and so everybody could take some home. The lids kept popping off. And then you put 10 drops of whatever oil you want to put in. I'm going to put in lemon, or you could put in lime or any other citrus, wild orange, grapefruit, whatever you like the smell of, you could put in. Right? And if you used your Dr. Bronner's of the same smell, then you're going to have more of that smell. Right? Stuff. This Douglas fir. Pine Sol. Absolutely. So my housekeeper, when I asked her to use this instead of what she was using, this is what she said. It works better than Lime Away. She's 85 years old, I think now. Still cleaning houses. You do not want to meet that woman in a dark alley. She will beat the daylights out of you. She is a feisty gal. Goes dancing twice a week. The bundle of energy. She says it works better than Lime Away. Chrome is shinier. Rust spots are gone. It rinses easier than Comet with no residue. It doesn't smell bad. I don't have to wear gloves. She said, I really love this cleaner. Right? That one. How much do you think this costs? Yeah, maybe $1 for a 3-month supply at least. You know, I make it in a, you know, like a sour cream container type thing. It'll last for a while, and it might cost you $1 in 10 minutes instead of whatever you get, you know, in your Ajax. Olive oil is an amazing cleaner. It polishes, it lifts dirt. You can put a little of your favorite oil aroma in it, make it smell like Pine Sol. And of course, essential oils are amazing cleaners. I used to think they just smelled good, but tea tree gets after bacteria. It gets after viruses, funguses, parasites. It's antiseptic, antioxidant, analgesic. That means it kills pain. Just tea tree oil. Now, when I say I used to think they just smelled good, that's before I took essential oils classes in my master's degree. And this is some of my textbooks. The 3 on the right are textbooks. The one on the left is the one I use. Modern Essentials is the best book of all of them. That handbook for essential oils is a big, thick monster that is not very user-friendly. Modern Essentials is very user-friendly. And by the way, I have those here if you want one. What I do is that when I go to convention, I buy them by the case, and I just sell them to you at cost. Just to make it convenient for you.
How much does that cost?
I want to say it's 35. I think it's 35. And then you're not paying shipping because I carry it in my car. And you're not waiting for however long. How long did you? Never mind. So your citrus oils, lemon, gets after viruses, it's antiseptic, it gets after funguses. Now, I'm not allowed to say anything about lemon oil, but the limonene in citrus oils gets after cancer. So it stops the growth of cancer, shrinks tumors, and prevents metastasis. It raises your mood. It's in all citruses. Limonene is in all citruses. Some of them have more of it. So the green mandarin and grapefruit had the most, 97% limonene. Wild orange is antiseptic and anti-cancer. I didn't say that. Lime is antibacterial, antiseptic, gets after viruses. Grapefruit, same thing. All of your citruses. Lavender. Put 10 drops of lavender into a spray bottle and just spray it around the room, freshen the room. And at the same time, everybody in the room is going to relax. Your dogs are probably going to go to sleep. Spray it on a pillow, sleep better. And I say that instead of spraying what? Toxic things like Lysol in the room or toxic room fresheners. Spray it on a pillow, or use it on a dryer ball. So here's a dryer ball. That's all I use. I won't use laundry sheets, dryer sheets. They not only are they toxic as all get out, but they clog up your exhaust, and it's the #1 cause of dryer fires is dryer sheets. That stuff on the outside is toxic as all get out, and it gets on your clothes, and then you wear it and you sweat on it, so it gets wet and it goes right into your bloodstream.
I was allergic.
Mhm.
They make me itch.
And my favorite oil to put on my dryer balls is lemongrass. And I have 4 dryer balls in my dryer, and I just put a couple of drops. I think it's $11 a bottle. There's 250 drops in there. Somebody do the math. It's cheap. The linalool, I'm not allowed to say anything about the lavender, but the linalool in lavender is antibacterial, antifungal. It kills candida. It's antiseptic and antiviral. This is the one I thought I was going to a minute ago. This is the slide that won't get me in trouble. So lemon oil, like I said, it will dissolve that sticky residue. It polishes chrome. It removes crayons, even Sharpie. So I actually had a friend of mine that did a demonstration one time. She turned around and wrote with Sharpie on her wall, made a little heart. And then she took lemon oil and it came right off, right? So, and then the D-limonene is anti-cancer, antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic. That's the slide I thought I had earlier that wasn't going to get me in trouble. Peppermint. Peppermint is another great cleaning oil. It deters spiders, ants, and other rodents. Ants will not come anywhere near peppermint oil. So when the ants come out of hibernation in Marchish, whenever they get out, what do? I take some peppermint oil and spray all my door jambs. Oh, if you ever get a tick, you ever go out hiking in the woods or something and get a tick, just for the fun of it, say I had a tick here, put a drop of peppermint oil on it, that tick will back right out. Yep. Yep.
You're talking to little bitty ants?
Any kind of ant. Any kind of ant.
I like to take.
I rolled them up with my finger.
Oh yeah.
They're 2 or 3 pieces, and then they're still every
Wiggling.
piece is wiggling. They're hard to.
That was like a chicken wing.
I dropped the peppermint oil in my window slides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just drop peppermint oil in there and.
Mm-hmm. Be careful if they're plastic. I don't know if the peppermint will damage.
Metal part of
Yeah.
the track.
Yeah, I don't have metal tracks. My
No.
no. My tracks are vinyl. My windows are vinyl. Tremendous off-gassing of nasty stuff.
Wow.
Of course, I
I'm
didn't,
surprised, 'cause your house is-
but we have brand new windows.
My house has old windows. So.
Yeah, we replaced all the windows a couple years ago. So the phenolic alcohol is antibacterial, anti-infectious, antiviral. I thought there was another one there, right? And it smells good. It's mood elevating. It opens up your respiratory tree. It does all these other amazing things. and it'll keep the rodents out of your house. Rosemary, my husband's favorite of all oils. You said you needed some, remind me. Yeah, remind me, I've got some back there. I meant to bring it from home, but I forgot it. But I'm sure I've got some here. Rosemary is a great degreaser. So you could add rosemary to your cleanser that you're making. If you wanted to add rosemary to that, have a little lemon rosemary, that would still smell yummy. It refreshes musty smelling laundry and washing machines. It is high in the oxide 1,8 cineol. So 1,8 cineol is an oxide. That's the umbrella under which that specific.
Would you just drop it in the washing machine?
I would. With your On Guard laundry detergent.
A little bit goes a long way.
And when doTERRA announced, and I forgot to bring it, when doTERRA announced the Abode cleaning line, it has dryer, laundry pods and dishwasher pods. And I forgot to bring them. And I don't remember if I have them on the slide, but there is. So for people, some people say, well, I've got a front loading machine. I have a front loading laundry machine. What doTERRA shows is you just take one of the laundry pods and toss it in the, right? I've been in love with the On Guard laundry soap for so long, I just didn't change to the new stuff. I like the On Guard. But you can use that, and you can use the dishwasher pods as well. The 1,8 cineol in rosemary is antiseptic, anesthetic, antiseptic, highly mucolytic. That's why my husband likes it, because he has respiratory challenges that sometimes he needs to break up some mucus. And the rosemary is great at that. Wild orange, you just can't smell wild orange without smiling. It smells so yummy. It degreases, it shines, it puts a smile on the most stubborn faces. And again, the D-limonene, I can't say anything about the oil, but the D-limonene, which is one of the #1 ingredients in it, is anti-cancer, antibacterial, antifungal, antiseptic, and highly antiviral. So you're going to get all those benefits, and it cleans, right? Or it cleans well, and you have all these side benefits, rather than it messing with your body and causing harm. It actually helps you be healthier. And that's the way all these oils are. Eucalyptus is another one that is a favorite of my husband's, as he has quite a bit of respiratory challenges. You can add that to a washing machine. It smells amazing. You can freshen bedding. You can put it in a spray bottle to freshen bedding. It smells clean and fresh, and it also is high in 1,8 cineol, so it's got all those same characteristics: antibacterial, antiseptic, antiviral, and insecticidal. So it also kills insects. Thyme. Yes, it's for things other than cooking. Although Brian makes a mean marinara with thyme and oregano and all kinds of other stuff that's in it. Got like 6 oils in it. I'm like, good dude, go. I just used the Italian blend.
There was a little bit.
It was in there. I saw that. So you can use the thyme in the bathroom, and the reason you would use thyme or oregano in the bathroom is because of the phenols. Okay, so the eucalyptus has 1,8 cineol. The thyme has phenols, and the phenols are very highly antibacterial, highly antifungal, antimicrobial, antiseptic. The oregano is the same thing. You can add it to the toilet bowl. It gets after bacteria. It truly does. You can mist it onto a moldy surface or a mildewy surface. It will take care of that. In fact, I've got a shower curtain right now that I need to, right? This is that time of year. So again, it's all the same things with those phenols. Melaleuca, which now doTERRA calls tea tree. So it's the same exact oil. They just switched the name of it, and I need to update this slide with a new bottle. Freshens bathrooms. Now, I don't like the smell of Melaleuca out of the bottle. I don't know why I'm not passing around oils. Totally forgot to, sorry. I don't like the smell of Melaleuca out of the bottle. But if you put it in a spray bottle and spray it on your curtains or spray it around the room, it is wonderfully fresh. It actually smells really good. I brought them out there. I just completely forgot to pass them around. Again, it's not my favorite aroma, concentrated, but you spray it around the house and it smells really good. The monoterpenes and tea tree is high in monoterpenes, is antibacterial, antifungal, anti-infectious, antiseptic, and very antiviral. All right. I'm missing my lemon. Nope, that's lemongrass.
I see yellow from this far away.
So let's talk about the On Guard cleaner. Okay, so that's the this is what I use on my floors, surface cleaners, that sort of thing. Mostly floors, countertops. Well, now I have the Abode. It comes in spray.
I still like the other one. I use it on the countertops and I put a little bit of peppermint oil on it. So I'm on the floor.
Oh, nice.
Because then I don't have in the kitchen.
That's a really cool idea. I'm going to try that.
I had some ants
This
show up in the
weekend.
bathroom the other day.
Yeah. And my husband's such a sweetheart. I make jokes and say he won't kill an ant. He won't kill an ant. He will pick up a spider and take it outside. Well, if it doesn't survive the winter, that's on it, but I didn't kill it. And he will vacuum up the ants. He will not kill them. If he had to kill his own meat for food, he'd be a vegan. And that's his words. That's his words. So the On Guard cleaner, going back to that environmental working group score, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, you think they're toxic? No, they're not toxic. The On Guard hand cleaner, which I did not bring. I brought the Abode hand cleaner. I've got actually the On Guard hand cleaner here, but it's back there. The On Guard hand cleaner is absolutely yummy. It's every bit as non-toxic. So here's all of your On Guard products, because I had somebody, I was supposed to have a meeting with her in the office yesterday, and she texted me first thing in the morning. She said, I'm not going to make it. You don't want me to make it. I woke up in the middle of the night with fever and headache and upset stomach. I said, thank you for caring enough about both of us not to come. Do you have some On Guard? And then I give her a whole list of oils, right? So we think of On Guard just as the oil. Have you smelled On Guard yet, Lynda? Oh, you gotta smell some On Guard. It's high on my list. So it comes not only as an oil, but it comes as beadlets. So you had beadlets the other night where we crushed it between your teeth. Yeah, I think it was super mint. So it comes as a now what you just did, just that will boost your immune system. Right? It's the first thing I do when I get on an airplane. Before COVID, the first thing I would do is take a drop, put it in my hand. Oops, got to. Right? And just that will boost your immune system. And it will, the stuff that you've already been exposed to, or the stuff that's you're exposed to for the next couple of hours, it's going to debilitate it. right? So you get exposed to bugs no matter where you're at. So you go to the grocery store, you can put a little drop of that in your hands before you put your hands on the cart. Or what I'm more likely to do is use the hand sanitizer spray. The Purell that's out there is toxic as all get out. It's got NPEs, it's got triclosan. It's part of the reason that we have gender bending. It needs to be something that we never use ever again. The On Guard comes in both a gel, so if you like the gel form, you can use the gel. I prefer the spray. You can use the spray. Either one of them will kill everything that's out there.
I heard from a biology professor that hand sanitizer is bad in terms of like if you really need an antibiotics or something.
Right, they won't work.
It won't work. If you use a hand sanitizer all the time.
Well, it kills your gut bacteria. And you need bacteria. Like the best thing that you can do is pull a carrot out of your garden, rinse the dirt off, and eat the carrot. Because you're not rinsing all the bacteria off and you're getting some really good bacteria, and you need that in your gut, right? The worst thing that we ever started doing was being hypersensitive and cleaning everything and sanitizing everything, and you know, everywhere you walk there's hand sanitizer. It's killing us.
I never liked it.
No, I've never used it. Never used it. You know what? I've got some in when I used to teach the college. I haven't taught for a couple of semesters, but I used to teach the college, and I have a bag, a case of essential oils that I've had to take all the labels off because I'm not allowed to talk brand there. And I I was given a little thing of Purell, and I use it as an example of what not to do. Yeah, it's really not good stuff. But in addition to your On Guard oil, you have beadlets, you have On Guard concentrated cleaner, you've got foaming hand wash, you've got the foaming hand wash dispensers, you've got On Guard sanitizing gel, sanitizing spray, laundry detergent, mouthwash, toothpaste, On Guard throat drops, sanitizing hand wipes. You know, if you want to wipe down the hand cart. My absolute favorite and one that I will never be without is On Guard Plus soft gels. So On Guard Plus soft gels, the plus is Melissa, which is the highest in, I can't remember the ingredient, that is antiviral. It has oregano, which again is high in phenols, which is the most antibacterial. And it has black pepper, which is high in beta-caryophyllene. Beta-caryophyllene increases the effect of anything that you put it with. That's why copaiba increases the effect of anything you put it with, because they're both high in beta-caryophyllene. So the On Guard Plus soft gels, if I get a symptom, any symptom, mine usually starts as a tickle in my right nostril, right? And if I let it go, then it's going to drop into a tickle in my throat, right? But I'm hyper vigilant in my body, and I feel it first as a tickle in my right nostril, and I go, oh crap, that's a cold. And I go get my 2 On Guard soft gels, and by the time they hit my stomach, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put On Guard roll-on right on my nose, and it's going to soak in. And usually by the time those soft gels hit my tummy, the symptom's gone. And they'll stay gone for 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll go, oh, I'm feeling it again. It's time for another On Guard. And then I'll take one every 4 or 5 hours for 24 hours. I never get the cold, right? It stops at a tickle in my right nostril. So I will never be, I've got a lot of bottles of On Guard soft gels. I just, for a while, I just had them as part of my order every month.
And so the soft gel is something to swallow.
Yes. It's just like a vitamin E. Yeah, the On Guard soft gels are amazing. I'll never be without those. Then there's On Guard chewable tablets. So you can actually chew them up. They're in a little tablet form. They taste good. They taste like On Guard. Or you can just let them dissolve in your mouth. And then there's the On Guard Touch Roll-On. Okay, so that's the whole On Guard product line. I think I have every part of the On Guard product line because we just don't get sick anymore. My husband used to get sick at least twice a month. And anytime he gets sick, it drops straight into his lungs. He gets a sniffle and it drops straight into his lungs because he smoked when he was way too young and for way too many years and just damaged his lungs. So it'll drop into his lungs and then he'll be down for 2 weeks with severe bronchitis. He's had pneumonia more than anybody I've ever known. And he hasn't been sick in years since he started doing this.
Can you use On Guard?
There is another product for children, for infants, that's softer, gentler. It's called Stronger. And it's specifically formulated for small children. So then you have the Abode line, and the Abode line has the modular trays, the bottles that look nice. They're just, nice bottles. And then, as I said before, they are all packaged specifically to reduce carbon footprint. doTERRA's goal is to be completely carbon neutral by 2030. Was it 2030, Brian? I think it's 2030. So that's an ambitious goal. And so everything's going to glass bottles or aluminum bottles, a lot of shifts in the packaging for minimizing the carbon footprint.
So there's no problem.
Aluminum is the most recycled. Okay, you don't want to drink out of aluminum.
Okay.
You don't want to drink out of it.
Stainless steel.
Aluminum causes to Alzheimer's, dementia. Oh yeah.
Like foil?
Any aluminum. Oh yeah. And it is in all of your baking powders, not your baking sodas, but your baking powders have aluminum. So you have to get aluminum-free baking powder. I'm on this fiendish bread baking thing. And I have to go change my baking powders.
Change out your aluminum.
Change out my aluminum, change out my baking powder. And then there's the dishwasher pods. There's the dish soap, and you can come out. This is the dish soap. Be careful, I'm gonna pass this around, but be careful because this top is kind of, you can take the top off if you want, or squeeze a little bit on a little bit and smell it if you want. It smells.
Also use the On Guard
You can use
cleaner for dish soap.
You can use the On Guard cleaner. I don't like it for dish soap because it doesn't suds enough for me. I actually, for a long time before they came out with Abode, I used laundry detergent for my dish soap.
So I keep my bottle that I use for the floor with this in it on my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And so when I come in from doing stuff outside, right on my hands.
Yeah.
My hands.
You do.
I do, yeah.
Well, washing hands is good.
I mean, we have a soap for the hands, but I just use that sitting there.
This is
So,
the
That's
foaming.
plastic.
They haven't changed that yet. Yeah. It's in there.
But, yeah, but the oils, I thought, the disintegrated the plastic, first you're not swallowing that.
You shouldn't be
That's not
drinking
lemon.
Huh?
That's not lemon. Yeah, and you're not drinking it. Yeah, you're not drinking
that.
it.
If you are, Brian, there's a problem there.
I've got a high detox going on.
Yeah, clean system going.
I bet that'll clean your system.
Yeah.
The Abode foaming hand soap. So again, it's at my sink. It actually makes foam. Just gonna squirt a little bit of it there. You're welcome to. It won't hurt you.
Can I smell the oil? No, I'll just smell this. because I think-
Yes, you can. It's, hang on, let me grab the order.
No, that's all right, I'll smell this. I don't want to interrupt you're on a roll.
Okay.
Go on.
Then there is the Abode hand lotion, which is citrus bloom. One of my absolute favorite of all aromas. So I say a lot of times, I am not a florals girl. I don't like the smell of florals. They are too fruit, they're too something. I don't like them. But they knocked it out of the ballpark when they did this citrus bloom fragrance. It comes in an oil, it comes in a lotion, it comes in there's a whole kit of citrus bloom. Because it's citruses with the florals, and it is amazing. And I love this lotion. Hopefully you have some.
You put it all over your body or just your
I
hands?
don't, I use it on my hands only. But that's just because I have been in the habit for many, many years. The only lotion that I use on my body is coconut oil. And it's been that way for a lot of years, and but when I do feel like I need lotion on my hands, I love this stuff.
I fell in love with
Malama,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the citrus oil, citrus bliss is the one I was thinking.
Citrus
I
bliss.
like that.
Citrus bliss is different. It's all the citruses combined.
Yeah, I like it.
Citrus bloom, and I like citrus bliss. Citrus bliss to me is a creamsicle.
Yeah.
It's all the citruses and vanilla.
Yeah, I like it.
There you go. Citrus bliss and citrus bloom, you can compare them. Sorry, you guys are not face to face in here, and you can smell all these lovely aromas. But hopefully you can get together with the person that invited you and smell them, or you already have them if you're already have an account. All right. So that's basically everything that you would use in your house for cleaning supplies is right there. Right? And they're completely non-toxic. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, to me, it's a beautiful thing. So just as a quick recap, most, if not all, of the typical household cleaners are toxic, and it's really easy to replace them with non-toxic alternatives that are at least as good, many times better, work more efficiently without the toxins. A lot of times they're downright less expensive because, again, you're not paying for shipping, you're paying for high quality product. You're not paying for shipping a bunch of water. You're paying for a really high quality, non-toxic product. So there is a special, everybody here already has an account. I don't know about everybody online. There's an enrollment special for January. If you enroll in January with at least a 100 PV order, this is relevant to you, Lynda, because you just enrolled. And you place at least a 100 PV, that's point value. A point is $1 on oils. It's not exactly dollar for point on the other cleaning products, but if you place a 100 point order in February, then doTERRA will put 100 points back into your account in March. So that's like getting a $100 discount. That's a nice deal. So if you're thinking about enrolling, for those of you online, if you don't already have an account and you're thinking about enrolling, that's a really, really good deal. And if you already have an account, invite somebody next week so that they can get in on the deal.
Also do 100 points, with shipping is free.
Shipping is free. Anytime you order 100 points or more, your shipping is free. All right. So I do is I add my cleaning supplies as an LRP order, a loyalty order. And once a year, I just buy a bunch of them and I buy them on points, right? Because my points accumulate. And by the end of the year, I'll have 500 points at least. Because I order a lot of stuff, right? And so I'll have 500 points. That's the equivalent of $500 that I can spend on whatever I want, right? And if you don't use it, you lose it. So you definitely want to use it.
So when you're using your points, is it going by the dollar value or the PV value of the product?
The dollar value.
Dollar value.
Yes. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, what's your health worth? You know, and do you have a wellness budget? Because most people today don't. But we need to. We definitely need to. And your cleaning supplies and your personal care products are part of that wellness budget. A friend of mine did a survey, and she just asked people that she knew that were health conscious. And so they probably shopping at something like Whole Foods. She has one in her area, or natural grocers, and asked what did they spend on average per month. And it was on average between $250 and $500 on things like personal care, home care, cleaning stuff, some vitamins and supplements. So what we have created is what we call a shift where you shop program. And the really cool thing about the shift where you shop program is you're going to just shift where you're buying Crest toothpaste, which is toxic and contains sodium lauryl sulfate and other things that you don't want, and you buy On Guard toothpaste, right? And instead of buying Lysol, you buy our multi-purpose cleaner, right? And you just shift where you were shopping for things that are toxic and poorly made for things that are high quality and non-toxic and immune boosting. When you do that and you help 3 people do that, you can get a $50 check at the end of the month. Actually, it's in the middle of the month. It's paid out on the 15th. And if those 3 people help 3 people do that, then you get a $250 check. And if those 3 people help 3 people do that, then you get a $1,500 check every month that it happens. So it takes a little bit of effort, but not a lot of effort. And in that, I mean, a $1,500 check is a house payment for most people in this area, not in California. It's a half a house payment in California. It's significant. So questions?
Can I ask a question about something completely different?
Of course.
My friend was going to come tonight, but he was sick because he has like a narrowed esophagus.
Mhm.
Today at lunch, he spits up food.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't even eat lunch.
Yep.
And then afterwards he felt terrible.
Yep.
With like a headache and just
Mm.
felt terrible.
Mm.
And it's been happening for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I promised him I would ask if there was something that he could take or do with essential oils to help that.
I will have to look up some oils. Is there something? Yes. And so I'm a nutritionist and I work with people that have weird stuff. That's a weird stuff that qualifies. So I'll give you some suggestions for what he can do.
A sister, and your sister.
Yeah.
I always like to find things to help people.
Yeah. I will give you some recommendations. Her question, for those of you that might not have been able to hear it, was she knows somebody that has basically an esophagus that's strictured. And so food doesn't pass easily. And she was asking if there was some oils that would help with that. I would have to look it up. If any of my doctors on here, we got two doctors. One in Austin, Texas, and one in Chicago, or Evanston, which is outside of Chicago. If you've got any ideas that would help to release a stricture, you can type that into the chat or unmute yourself and let me hear what you have to say. Otherwise, I'll do some look it up. Things like that are fun. All right. Is there anything in the chat that I need to look at? I know there's been a little bit of an active chat going on. Just open that up. Let's see. Do you actually get yours on LRP or strictly with points? I get it with points on LRP. If you miss a month on LRP, does the reward start over? Only if you cancel your LRP. So if you're going to not order for a month, or let's say you're going on vacation or whatever, take your LRP down to a 5-point bottle of sanitizing spray or something like that, a 5-point bottle of lotion, and don't cancel your LRP, just take it down to a little bitty order. And then nothing happens to it, you don't lose any points. If you cancel it, then you start all over again. Okay, so you don't want to cancel it. I just had somebody do that. It's like, no, I don't need anything this much. Cancel the order.
Buy a lip balm.
Just, buy a lip balm. Just
So the point is to buy something each month.
well, if you're on loyalty rewards, and when you're on loyalty rewards, that's how you get to that 55% off.
Okay, but that takes a year, right?
Right. And for you right now, if you order in February 100 points, then you're going to get 100 points in March.
I'm on 20,
You're on 25%.
plus 25, plus I get 25% off on mine.
Okay. No, doTERRA will give a grace period, usually a month. If you cancel then start it up over. Well, you hope they will give you a grace period, but they don't have to give you a grace period, Jim. Typically, if you cancel your LLP, you start over again at 10%.
So Lynda,
Yeah.
we've had people that have their credit card declined or something, and so they missed a month of their order, and
That's a little bit
Good.
different. That they
Yeah.
didn't cancel it.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a little bit
exactly what I
different.
said. Yep. I'm just saying that if you just missed your order, because of like a card failure or
Right.
you forgot, or
Right.
but then you won't lose your points. That's what I was saying in that. But yeah, if you cancel, then of course it's gone.
Right. And here's my experience of doTERRA. I don't care what the error was or who made an error. doTERRA does the most amazing things to make it right. Tell your story quickly, Tammy.
Okay, so.
And you might have to come over here so these guys can hear you.
Oh, I have to stand up.
You got to stand up.
You're gonna be a movie star.
No. I'm always a movie star. What are you talking about? Been to any of my classes? Or
Yeah, you
anything.
haven't been to any of her classes. She's a movie star.
No, I had my order got lost in the mail because they changed. Well, doTERRA didn't have a say over the change in the shipping, and
The post office used DHL.
yeah, they started using DHL, and they've started losing orders left and right apparently. And the second time I called doTERRA and said, hey, it's been like almost 12 days since my order left Salt Lake and I haven't gotten it. And they sent me a replacement order, and they said, if the post office ever gets your other order in, send it back, and so they just sent me a replacement at no cost. So that was really cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
like, that's awesome.
I had a shipment that they delivered on December 24th, and I didn't receive it. And so I called the post office on the 26th December. They had a GPS on the mail carrier. We did deliver it to them.
Mine was sitting in Denver somewhere, just not. with them.
Mine was here in Grand Junction, but they delivered it to the wrong house.
Wow.
And then they went to the house, they tried to get back, and the people said, no. You gotta believe them, because they could have put it on the porch and somebody take it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I got a UPS box. It goes to the UPS store instead of my house,
That's a good idea.
because I'm not home.
Let's see. Wondering why Copaiba is increased the benefits of oil. I don't know the mechanism of action, Kara. So the question was, what is it about Copaiba and black pepper that increases the effect of anything that you put with it?
Down at home.
It's the beta caryophyllene is the ingredient that does that, but I don't know the mechanism of action for how it works. So
It does it with all oils, correct?
it enhances the effect of anything you put with it. And Tammy says she has that information written down at home, so maybe we can get her to share that with us.
From our
Yeah,
doctor.
Tammy and I actually had a phone call today discussing it, and I
Mm.
wanted to make sure that it was all oils.
It is, all oils, yes, Copaiba magnifies the effect of everything you put with it.
Glenda, according to the Modern Essentials book, oils that help with smooth muscle spasms is basil, marjoram, deep blue, and Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is the most antispasmodic. So if your friend's esophagus is a spasm, it's different than if it is a stricture, but if it is a spasm, then Roman chamomile is the most antispasmodic.
So I couldn't find stricture in the book for you, Lynda. I'm sorry.
No worries. Deep blue, which is a blend. Tammy can fill you in on that. Basil and marjoram. That's from Dr. Kara, and Dr. Archana says peppermint can help as well, as can magnesium followed by aloe. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you for teaching us something new today as well.
Magnesium followed by aloe.
No,
Archana, do you know what type of magnesium specifically?
I tend to use one by Yarrow called
Okay.
MagMind.
No.
But it depends on, sometimes people rotate the different magnesiums to get the different formulations,
Yeah, you can go to Natural Grocers and pick up
Yeah.
magnesium.
so
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I always recommend too, is to rotate the magnesium
Yeah.
types.
would you combine all those pills into one thing, and maybe like rub it
Mhm.
on the skin?
I would try some
Cut-
deep blue. Deep
cut-
blue is-
Yeah, I would probably, knowing me, I would start with Roman chamomile is what I would start with, because I know it's the most antispasmodic.
Yeah.
And dilute it with some fractionated coconut oil. And rub it on there and just see how that does.
Yeah.
And then next I would add deep blue to it. Okay, and then I would add basil, and then I would add marjoram, and then I would add peppermint, or I like to do things
Scientifically,
a little more, less is more, especially with oils.
but with a fractionated coconut oil. But we talked about that before, that has to be.
doTERRA has a fractionated coconut oil.
But you can't buy it.
You can, you just question the quality.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
By the way, this all affects your pets.
Yes. Yeah, all that
All the cleaning
toxins,
supplies.
You know, they lay on that floor with the toxins. Yeah.
Adverse effect on them.
Yep. And I haven't watched it yet, but because I've been busy.
You just listen to it. It's a
I've
podcast.
been social foxing. But Tammy just sent me a video of a what?
Oh, I can't get any reception.
Oh, there's not any. Tammy sent me a video where it was dogs, right? Or cats? No, it was cats.
Actually, it's Dr. Karen Becker interviewing, do you know who Karen Becker is? She wrote The Forever Dog, you have to read it, Noelle has it. And Dr. Melissa Shelton, who wrote the ADR book that Noelle and I use as a Bible. Karen Becker is interviewing Dr. Shelton, and it's these two amazing veterinarians that are do holistic medicine.
Was he the Harvey guy?
No, it's not a guy, they're both women. No, that's Bill Shelton.
Okay.
No, it's not Bill Shelton.
Come over here so they can hear you.
So, Melissa Shelton, who wrote the ADR book, she started experimenting with essential oils about 14 years ago. And one of the things that she started doing was with her cats. And since she's a vet, she's like, you know, I can draw blood anytime I want. I can do this like every day. So she stopped using aerosol, you know, like Lysol and things like that in the air. She took her cats, she drew her cat's blood first. Had some toxins and some things that were off kilter in the cat's blood work. Started using essential oils to, you know, and diffusers and spraying around the house, and took her cat's blood 7 days later. And in 7 days, the toxicity had dropped significantly in her cat's blood work from switching a toxic product for a diffuser with essential oils.
Awesome.
Significantly. It's I'll send you it's a podcast. 25 minutes.
I will get to it. All right.
So, would you recommend doing the Roman actually like just daily, just put it on, maybe, but like before a meal, or just
Absolutely before a meal.
for each meal?
Absolutely.
So like 2 minutes before, or whatever.
It works pretty quick. I do it probably 5 or 10 minutes. When I usually do something before a meal, I do it while I'm fixing the meal. Right? If I'm going to take digestive enzymes or MetaPower, I'm going to take it while I'm fixing the meal. And if he's not fixing the meal, then it could be while,
It's driving from us.
right,
So this.
or when he orders.
Deep Blue has blue chamomile. What's the difference between blue chamomile and Roman?
Blue is German.
Okay. I just was looking at that.
The steep blue, one of the things, if you get on your hands, you could, if you like rubbed your eyes. or
It'll
something,
burn.
It hurts, yeah.
It'll burn.
That's right here.
All right. So let's wrap this up and let the people online go. We're almost at the top of the hour. So I'm glad that you were here. I hope it was valuable for you. And Archana, I'm thrilled that you had some people here, and I hope that's valuable for them. I know you'll follow up with them and answer any questions and help them with orders.
Yeah, thanks,
It starts
Lynda.
with an O, gets messed up anymore.
Thank you, Lynda.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
great night.
everyone. Bye. Good night.
Hi, everybody.